Welcome listeners to the fifth episode of PenguinPals. Today we will talking about barriers of communication. My name is Maria, I will host for today and let me introduce my group.
I'm Gabriel Kolbitz.
I'm Nathan Shafir. I'm Kaden Bartley.
I'm Melina Sierra.
Okay, we are a student services project addressing the disconnect between Clark students and other students. What we understand for barriers of communication. We have talked before, communication consists of a conversation or exchange of ideas between two or more people through verbal and non-verbal communication. But when there are certain obstacles that prevent a message from being transmitted correctly, this can negatively impact different aspects of our lives, including social connections, academic performance, and personal growth. Today we're talking about the four most common barriers of communication that students face: language, physical disabilities, different culture, and social anxiety. As Clark College student, have you had faced with or noticed students facing some of these barriers?
I know for me personally, I suffer from really bad social anxiety, and because of this, it kind of prevents me from speaking up. Even if I want to become friends with someone, or I'm like, hey, you're cool, I want to deepen this relationship that we have and get to know each other and become friends or whatever. So I guess for me, yeah, it is that social anxiety, that barrier to overcome the fear and anxiety that I have towards social situations.
Yeah, and I agree. I'm on the same track here as Gabe. There's a lot of anxiety, especially meeting new people and trying to, will they like me or will they not? And I definitely see a lot of anxiety in other people too. I think you can kind of, when you experience it, you can kind of gauge when other people are experiencing it. And all these, I definitely I've seen the students really the language, physical disabilities, and different cultures. I think they're all kind of on a basis of kind of anxious to kind of get past the barriers that they have, and whether it's in their what they think of the other people think of them, or what they think of other people and such.
As my own example, I'm a foreign student who frequently have to face with language communication barrier. It is very difficult for me to overcome the fact of not acquiring effective use of the English language, since often I misunderstand information and send incorrect messages, resulting in ineffective communication, as well as prevents me from performing tasks correctly and communicating and connecting efficiently with other students and my teachers. Sometimes it causing me a negative impact in my grades and my motivation to continue attending classes. We have talked about how these barriers affect students, their lives, but how can we address them? Do you think Clark College provides the right sources to do so? I consider that Clark College provides the right sources, but I think it would be well to implement a system that constantly motivates students to take advantage of them, because I think this will help to keep the positive energy and motivation of the students so that they can more easily overcome these barriers, and we help them communicate in an effective way, and also to build positive personal connections and confidence around the world.
I think that Clark provides good sources for students affected by the barriers of communication. There's the Diversity Center, there's tutoring, and there's a bunch of sources on Clark's website that provides these to cater to your needs. And so we'll definitely put them in the description of our Spotify version of this podcast.
And yeah, I agree with Melina here that Clark certainly does it better than a lot of colleges in terms of providing the sources and letting people know about them. I can't think of one syllabus at the beginning of a class we didn't have a conversation about if you have anxiety or depression or have various other struggles, to please check these sources out, and they'll direct them. And I think Clark College does a really good job in trying to address these barriers. I think they recognize them, so I got to give kudos to them for that. In terms of how we can address them ourselves, a big step is just addressing that you maybe do have maybe some social anxiety, or there might be a barrier due to physical disability or a different culture, and not be defeated by that, but rather kind of construct how can I overcome it.
Didn't we say we get like a certain amount of free therapy sessions here at Clark?
6 sessions.
6 sessions. So that could be something you could talk to a therapist about if you're like have crippling social anxiety.
Of all these barriers, the biggest way to overcome them is to just take that step forward, because all of these barriers do exist for everyone in some way, shape, or form, but they're going to exist for as long as you don't do something about them. So you have to go out there, you have to take that step forward, whether it be seeking out the mental health services, seeking out disability accommodations, seeking out different events that are on campus, and trying to make connections with people. You have to take that step forward, because connection and relationships with people are not going to fall into your lap. You have to go out and take them and make them yourselves.
Definitely agree, Gabe, and I think that a lot of these barriers, like you said, you got to take the first step. I think a lot, at least for social anxiety, a lot of the barrier is on me, and my assumptions on how other people will react to my barriers of communication. And I think that's the case for a lot of these. Is it's not, people won't respond as bad as you think they will, and once you take that first step, you'll realize, once I've put in the effort, people respond to that effort and will appreciate it, and you can start communication and relationship that way.
As an individual, how can we help a student who are facing this type of barriers? I think the best way to help them is by showing them empathy, giving them the attention they deserve when they speak or communicate something, and making them feel that their opinions are important and valuable. This will create a comfortable environment where students could feel relaxed and confident of continuing communicating.
Certainly, no, I agree. It's a sign, respecting, showing our respect for them, and be that you care and you're treating them as an individual rather than what their barrier is. It means a lot to anyone, and like you said, showing empathy, being nice to them, and they'll be nice back. Treat others how you want to be treated, and I think that goes both ways. If you show that to other people, they'll show it back, and those barriers will dissolve.
I think there's a mutual understanding between individuals. Like Gabe, you talked about your social anxiety. Maria, you talked about different cultures. And so I feel like with other students, we could show them empathy and patience because of the mutual understanding, and that can make a student's experience more valued and welcome here at Clark.
I agree, yeah. Really just having that patience and waiting for them to, do whatever they need to do, whether if say for example, you're speaking with someone and there is that language barrier, just being patient, letting them process through what they want to say and affording them the time to say what they want to say. It shows that you respect them as a person. It shows that you respect what they have to say, what they think, what they feel. And I just feel like having these moments where we can empathize and extend this hand of understanding and patience, it just really goes that extra mile of helping ease any tensions and anxieties and help destabilize these barriers that are very prevalent. Because we've been talking a lot about these very theoretical things like, oh, be nice, oh, be understanding, be patient, but we haven't really talked about what those look like, how we could actually do those. So I think, as Melina said, just being patient, being present, being there in the moment is a great first step in that.
Today in our podcast, we were talking about the obstacles of communication that the students need to face every day at Clark College, how these obstacles affect in different aspects of students' lives, and how we can support them. Thank you for your listening. You can find us at PenguinPals on YouTube and Spotify. Please send your comments, reviews, likes. We encourage you to stay connected with us and to join our conversation for connections and community at Clark College.
Bye.